That's what I would not want to see for the future of the upstate, is to build our way another 30 or 40 years into unwalkability, disconnection, and auto-dependency. I will say this: if you think it's hard to create this new type of urban form, then it's even harder to go back and have to try to fix it later. Even though it's very easy to draw, there's whole books on this. How do you go back and retrofit suburban sprawl and create connection when you already got people living there and people who were really locked into that pattern? So it would be far better and easier if at least gradually we could start to build interconnected fabric, mixed-use fabric, and transit serviceable fabric, rather than trying to, are we going to have a conference in 2050 where we're lamenting the fact that we still have the same patterns that we saw up on the screen here in many instances today?
So in summary, as we compress this to the available time, we are a car-dependent region. And part of that dependency, a big part of that dependency, is our development pattern. The fact that we're spread out, the fact that you can't walk there, and even if you're close by near a school, you can't get there from here because you've got to walk all the way out to the beginning of the cul-de-sac subdivision, over to the main road and back around into the school. So our development pattern creates a major challenge for us. And we can't just build more roads. We can't just build more lanes. We don't have the money, we don't have the time, and we'll just create more of the same. It's sort of like kind of the frog in the heating water. We'll keep on finding ways to get through this, but at some point it's going to explode. We don't have enough money, it takes too long, we get too much more demand. Biking, walking, transit exist. We work at the margins on those things. I will say from a personal perspective, I love riding the Greenville Transit to Clemson. I've driven that road for 35 years, and the last 3 or 4 of taking the bus has just been tremendous. Now, it requires a major sacrifice for me, in that I have to be at the bus stop at 8:20. I mean, I can't fool around. I can't say, oh, I'll go a few minutes early. I can go a few minutes early, but I have a hard time. I can't go a few minutes late. I've got to be there on time. But I can get there, and it's just a pleasure to ride the bus. It's a pleasure to not have to put all those miles on my car. It's something I can do. But it's a change in personal behavior. And part of the solution to all these things is some degree of change in personal behavior. But the reality is the fixed nature, the incredible fixed nature of our development pattern makes it impossible to move. We can't just pull the Legos apart and put them back together simply, because we've really put those Legos into concrete, literally. And we have to figure out a way to make that work. Technology, always a silver bullet, always perceived to be a silver bullet. The kind of ACEs approach that Fred Cartwright described, of the automated shared vehicles, electric vehicles, that can work. Unfortunately, I heard a presentation last week at a planning conference where they had modeled out automated electric vehicles that were not shared, and the sprawl was even greater because everyone had their own little car that they can just sit in and ride. So that's not going to work. We got to share. Sharing's a new approach to transportation. We're used to getting in our own damn cars and going wherever we want to. It's my life. I'm an American. I'm free. I'm independent. And by George, I'm going to do that. So we have to figure out how to share. Sounds like kindergarten, doesn't it? And basically, the whole purpose of this year-long exercise that we're kicking off today is to figure out together how we make that sharing workable for all of us.